Praise God. Chapter 5 of Mark. And I want to read the verses 25. And I want to talk about for a minute, read a little bit of a story here. I like this here. This story I'm going to read here. Mark, this lady's got guts. She's got intestinal fortitude. That's not my notes. Amen. But she was determined to do something. And sometimes I'm looking at you out there like that. Don't let the devil steal your determination.
That's right.
Because if he can steal your determination, he can steal your future.
Amen. Yep.
Did you hear that?
Yeah.
He's got a future for every one of you, young or old. I don't care how old you are. I'm 87. Well, pastor, like that. See, I don't look at it that way. You look at it the way you want to look at it. No, I got a future yet.
That's right.
And I've got at least 93. When I get to 93, I said, Lord, 98. And then 100, I don't know. Maybe not. What I like that. I'm not concerned about that. Now, I just want to do what God wants me to do.
Yep.
And sometimes, look at me carefully. You hear what I said? And sometimes we don't. You didn't hear that, huh? Sometimes we don't. And I want to. My heart's bizarre. And let's look at me for here. Mark chapter 5. And a certain woman which had an issue of blood 12 years, and had suffered many things of many physicians, and had spent all that she had, and was nothing bettered, but rather grew worse, when she heard of Jesus, came in the press behind, and touched his garment. For she said, if I may touch but his clothes, I should be whole. And straightway the And straightway the fountain of her blood was dried up, and she felt in her body that she was healed of that plague. And Jesus immediately, knowing in himself that virtue had gone out of him, turned him about in the press and said, who touched my clothes? And his disciples said unto him, thou seest the multitude thronging thee, and sayest thou, who touched me? And he looked round about to see her who had done this thing. And the woman, fearing and trembling, knowing what was done in her, came and fell down before him, and told him all the truth. And he said unto her, daughter, thy faith had made thee whole. I want you to notice on here, this woman right here, somewhere along the way, she heard about that Jesus, and that when he touched people, people were healed. Or when they touched Jesus, they were healed. And somehow that got into her heart and mind, because she said that she was determined to go to find Jesus and to touch him. That was her point of contact. That was a point of her releasing her faith. Like that. Because when you look at the story here, and you look about Jesus, that there was a multitude of people around him. So many people around stressed like that it even said, you know, if you read that, and they said, when somebody touched me. Well, Lord, look at all the people around. No. Someone touched him with faith.
That's right.
It's a difference. Right. There must have been thousands of people in the course like that. And maybe they just touched him. But no. She touched him. She purposed in her heart like that.
Yeah.
She would determine how she was going to do it. I noticed here, she said, like this here, she said in verse number 28, for she said, if I may touch his clothes, I should be whole. Now, I thought to myself, and you have to look at 3 different Gospels here, if you will. I'll give you the Gospels, and don't look at them now. Mark chapter 5, verses 25 to 34. Luke chapter 8, 43 to 48. And Matthew 9, 20 to 22. Now, but you don't get a complete picture of it like that, but in Matthew, I like that, Matthew 9, and verse number, let me read the whole thing like that. And behold, a woman which was diseased with an issue of blood. See, he writes it a little different. Talks about there, about a certain woman had an issue of blood, and they call that a disease in Matthew. And that disease was taking her life like that. But she said in verse 21, she said within herself. She didn't voice it out loud. She didn't say, well, when I touch Jesus, I'm going to be whole. No, she just somehow, I don't know if she mumbled it or just said it in her heart. See, look at me carefully. What you say sometimes is very important.
Your words are important. You're right.
Your words are extremely important.
Yeah. Yeah.
What you mutter to yourself. No, nobody's around, your wife isn't around, a husband, boyfriend, girlfriend isn't around. No, what you speak to yourself is either a or a you make the choice. You make the choice. People don't realize that sometimes. Amen.